Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Government to make more adjustments to DRMA for Christmas. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie says there will be additional adjustments to the protocols governing the Disaster Risk Management Act DRMA during the upcoming Christmas season. McKenzie, who was speaking at Thursday's monthly meeting of the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation, WMC, said community bars and other local businesses, which would normally close at 7 p.m. under the DRMA, will be allowed to operate until 9 p.m. on weekdays, while on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, their closing hours will move up to 1 a.m. He also stated that entities such as gyms and barbershops, which were affected by the 7 p.m. curfew closing period, will be allowed to extend their opening hours until 9 p.m. Also, beaches and rivers that are operated by authorized persons, which normally operate from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m., will now be allowed to operate until 5 p.m. Cinemas and theaters will continue to open with limitations, while churches, which are among the more responsive and supportive organizations, have also been allowed to continue to operate within their limitations, said McKenzie. Let me clearly state that we have not moved the restrictions on entertainment, so parties and nightclubs are not permitted to open and to operate. Any parties that take place and any nightclubs that are open while engaging in music and dancing is doing so in contravention to the Disaster Risk Management Act, added McKenzie. It should be noted that funerals and burials remain the same from Monday to Friday, with only 20 persons allowed to attend. Markets will be allowed some additional time and will now close at 9 p.m. each night. McKenzie said the municipalities have lost in excess $2 billion in revenue that would have come from the entertainment sector through advertising since last year. The revenue that has been lost would have formed a significant portion of the budget of the municipal bodies. We are looking at measures that will allow us to consider how we approach it, but we also have to be mindful that we did make some concessions and some of the players did not live up to the commitment that they gave, said McKenzie in speaking about creating opportunities for the entertainment sector. We understand the hardship that those persons in the sector are experiencing, but we also have to look at the wider picture. McKenzie noted that come January 13, 2022, his ministry will revisit the measures that are now in place to see if any further changes or alterations can be made. The Prime Minister on Tuesday announced new measures around COVID. The Prime Minister has been cleared, and we have been clear, that we cannot continue to squeeze the life out of the economy of the country, said McKenzie. While the numbers are going down, we are still not out of the woods. We saw what the spike did earlier this year, the pressure that was placed on the health system, shortage of oxygen and over 1,000 persons occupying bed when we only had the capacity to about 600. Although we have increased the bed capacity for COVID to over 800, all of that can be wiped out if we are not responsible. As it relates to the adjustments made to the curfew hours for the Christmas by Prime Minister Andrew Holness, McKenzie said the government purposely made those changes because Grand Market Night is one of the biggest nights for commercial business in the country, and that while the government understands the issues, it also has to be mindful that persons need to create and to have a livelihood. Prior to addressing the MWC meeting, McKenzie toured the Westmoreland Infirmary, the Savanna Mar Market, the Indigent House, which is under the construction of the Moreland Hill Community, and the $14 million rehabilitation roadway in Bath District. PM makes another appeal for tourism workers to get vaccinated. While acknowledging that the current COVID-19 vaccination rate among Jamaican's tourism workers is approximately 70% to date, Prime Minister Andrew Holness is calling on the other 30% to take their jobs in order to secure the sector against fallout from the global pandemic. Tourism is the heartbeat of Jamaica, and this is not an industry we can allow to be affected and restricted by the pandemic. At the same time, we have to ensure the livelihood of the people in the industry, and everyone in the industry should protect themselves by getting vaccinated, said Holness, while addressing Thursday's official opening of the Ocean Eden Bay Hotel in Coral Springs, Trelawney. There is a need for all Jamaicans, especially our hard-working tourism workers, to get vaccinated, to shield themselves, their guests, and of course, their own families and friends with whom they must interact with every day, stated Holness. I understand that the vaccination rate among tourism workers is moving towards 70%. That is very high and very commendable. The Prime Minister said the opening of the Ocean Eden Bay Hotel is an indicator that Jamaica has been accepted as a resilient tourism destination. We see this opening as a strong sign and an endorsement of Jamaica as a strong country. We are going to recover to where we were before, and we are going to go much higher, stated Holness. In August, Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett said that all tourism workers who interfaced with cruise ship passengers must be vaccinated. Bartlett subsequently launched an initiative to vaccinate 170,000 tourism workers. This led to several vaccination blitzes at different locations across the island, with some 2,000 tourism workers getting the jab up to the first week of September. Tourism Workers' Pension Scheme to start January 1. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says the delayed pension scheme for tourism workers will be introduced on January 1. Legislation for this scheme was approved by the Parliament 2 years ago, but the implementation was delayed with the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. We are back on track and have concluded agreements with the fund manager, Sagicor, and fund administrator Garden Life, said Bartlett. Come January 1, some 350,000 tourism workers may begin registration for the scheme. Bartlett was speaking at the official opening of the 444-suite Ocean Eden Bay Hotel in Trelawney. He said the introduction of the scheme coincides with the recovery of the tourism sector, with workers again optimistic about the future. The thinking behind this pension scheme was to ensure that the workers of our industry can have an opportunity to look forward to a future that will secure them and their families, said Bartlett. The Tourism Workers' Pension Scheme is a defined contributory plan supported and will require mandatory contributions by workers and employers. Before the pandemic, several sensitization sessions were held with tourism workers island-wide to get feedback and to explain how the scheme will work. The pension scheme covers all workers ages 18 to 59 years of age in the tourism sector, whether permanent, contract, or self-employed. Benefits will be payable at age 65 or older. Initially, for 2022, the contribution will be 3% of gross salary to be matched by the employer. Afterwards, it will be 5%. The government will provide $1 billion to seed the fund. Government signs $120 million contract to upgrade Clarendon Parish Court. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says the ministry is committed to improving the facilities to justice institutions across the island. Renovation works of the Clarendon Parish Court will include the installation of an elevator to support import access for the physical challenge and the construction of an additional public bathroom. Upgrades to the court building will also include retiling of walkways and corridors, installation of additional water storage, and improving water and sewage lines for the facility, improvement of electrical services, provision of security systems, external and internal painting, and installation of air conditioning units. Meanwhile, Chief Justice Brian Skis has welcomed the announcement to upgrade the court facilities, highlighting that a key component of achieving an improved justice system involves ensuring that the island's courts are equipped with modern amenities. The Chief Justice said that Clarendon Parish Court is one of the better performing parish courts and has contributed significantly to the objective of disposing of cases within 24 months of the point of entry into the court system. The renovation, therefore, will enhance the circumstances in which justice is delivered and contribute to the executive's mission of creating a first-class justice system for Jamaicans, the Chief Justice said. In November, the Justice Ministry handed over 2 new mobile units to the Court Administration Division, which will be used by the court to facilitate remote testimonies by vulnerable witnesses. Paramount Jamaica hosts vaccination bliss. For 17 years, Paramount Jamaica held an annual Christmas treat for children of the Walton Park community and its surrounding areas. The treat, which over 900 children from ages 3 to 8 years old attended, was a day of fun-filled activities including rides, competitions, spot prizes, games, food and drinks, as well as some performances from recording artists. Unfortunately, this infectious Christmas spirit has been neutralized by the threat of COVID-19, resulting in the cancellation of the well-loved event. This year, realizing the urgency in helping the community and country return to a normal way of life, Paramount Jamaica partnered with the Ministry of Health and Wellness to host a vaccination blitz in hopes of increasing the island's vaccination count. While the World Health Organization notes that vaccination is the best way to fight against hospitalization and fatalities from COVID-19, the company's representatives noted that, in talking to persons on the ground, some had vaccine hesitancy due to lack of information or misinformation. In addition, most persons had many unanswered questions regarding the side effects of the vaccines. The Ministry of Health and Wellness had a team of representatives who addressed the concerns raised, which led to the successful vaccination of 178 persons. Each vaccinated person was greeted by Santa and his helpers with a goodie bag. The goodie bags contained non-perishable food items, electrolytes, water, and painkillers. I'm happy that even in these paralyzed times, so many members of the community came out to be vaccinated. If for that reason alone the blitz was a success, it's crucial that we come together to bring stability to our economy and our community. Vaccination is one of the ways we can get back to being around each other in a way we're accustomed to. As always, Paramount remains committed to playing its part in ensuring that we continue the Healthy Lifestyle campaign, said Anna Marie Graham, a director of Paramount and the Blitz leader planner. Several sponsors assisted in making this initiative possible, including Carimed Limited, CMK Bakery, Daytona Sales, Dermont Trading, Digicel, General Accident Insurance Company, Juicy Patties, Kingston Heritage, Main Event, Manpower and Maintenance Services Limited Group, Stationery and Office Supplies Jamaica Limited, Pepsi, Sampars, and Separ Limited. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.